Thanks for tuning in and welcome to The Metrics, a beginner's introduction to using Google Analytics to grow your business. I'm Tori Laymeister, the Marketing Consultant Team Manager here at Volusion, and I'm joined by my colleague, Natalie Stambro, another excellent marketing consultant and conversion optimization enthusiast. Hello.
Today we're going to go through an overview of analytics and its interface, and then we'll dive deep into acquisition, behavior, conversions, and then provide some takeaways for each section. Following that, we'll provide you the tools on how to become your very own consultant. Then we will open up the floor for a few questions and answers, and of course we will end it with some marketing discounts.
You may be wondering, what is Google Analytics? It's a free service offered by Google providing metrics about a website's traffic sources, user behavior on the website, conversions, and so much more. You can access Google Analytics online at google.com/analytics, but do note that unless you have specific Google tracking scripts on your website, you won't see any data. If you need any help getting set up, there's a lot of information online, and you can also call into Volusion. We encourage you to follow along with our slides, but know you might want to check back in with the PowerPoint as a resource later. So we will be providing the clickable slides and webinar recording on our blog tomorrow, and you'll also receive an email follow-up with this information. So we wanted to quickly just review the top navigation sections. Home. Clicking this will take you back to see all the profiles you have set up in one analytics account. So yes, if you own multiple stores, you can have their profiles all available in one account. Reporting, this is where we'll spend most of our time today. Customization, this is a neat area where you can set up custom reports. Think social media report, PPC report, your top keyword reports that you can have emailed to you automatically on a daily, weekly, monthly basis.
This area is kind of similar to the dashboards if you caught our blog prior to the webinar.
Exactly. And then last, the admin. This area controls a bunch of your settings. Like, is your site set up to track e-commerce? What URL is the account set up under? And your user management settings. So who has access to your analytics data and what can they do? So now, let's jump into reporting.
Okay, so before we dive deep into the metrics, we wanted to walk you through the layout to get you familiar where everything is. This is where you'll measure your website and analyze data. There are 4 main sections to the layout: date, filters, data, and left-hand navigation.
The date range tool in the top right-hand corner is one of the most important areas to pay attention to when analyzing data. Make sure you aren't making business decisions off one day of data or a week of data a year ago unless you intend to. If you click on the arrow by the date range tool, a pop-out will expand with more date ranges. You can customize to choose the dates you look at. Maybe you want to adjust dates to view all of Q2 or just the month of June. Maybe you want to look at only last business week. You can pick those dates here by highlighting them. We also highly recommend using that Compare To feature. If you hit that, you can view monthly, yearly, or custom timeframes and see how your website and data compares.
In the top center is where you can set your filters to remove specific segments to get more granular with your data. When you click on the Add Segment box, it will expand down to give you a few more options. You will see all system segments, which are automatically in your Google Analytics account. From this list, you can click on a variety of segments. Maybe you want to see how direct traffic compares against all traffic, or mobile traffic versus all visitors. Here you will also see organic and paid traffic. Simply click on the box next to the segment filter you want to review and hit Apply. Now you can view the data with that filter in mind.
For the rest of the webinar, we'll work our way through the left-hand navigation and hit the most important foundational highlights for e-commerce store owners, starting with the acquisition section. Acquisition gives you a glimpse of how you acquire users through marketing channels like Google Search, email, Facebook referrals, how they behave on your site, and what their conversion patterns look like.
But first, let's just do a quick poll. Do you know what your primary channel of online marketing is? And before you click, we're asking if you know with actual data, not what you assume.
We're seeing a lot of fluctuation. In the beginning, yes was winning, but now it's about a 29-71 split. 70% of you don't seem to know what the top channel of your online marketing is.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised on how many store owners we meet who believe one channel is their top traffic until they actually look at their analytics.
So it looks like 75% of us have voted at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and close out the poll. It might pause your screen for a second, but the PowerPoint will come right back up. And the final numbers, when I'm closing it, are 37% of us said yes, we know what our primary channel of online marketing is. So we're about to learn for the rest of us who don't know. If you're following along, go ahead and click over to Acquisition and then Overview. Like many sections in analytics, you'll see data broken out by acquisition, the sources of traffic, behavior, how users act on the website, and conversions, the money. To immediately get a snapshot of standard website data, the Acquisition Overview is a great first place to go. For example, for this website, what's the top channel driving traffic?
It looks like it's organic search.
Exactly. That pie chart under top channels makes it really clear to see which channel is most prominent. So now you can use your own analytics and quickly tell what your top channel is. I do want to pay a little bit more attention to the top channels pie chart because it provides an obvious visual of any big gaps in your marketing strategy. I see a potentially harmful gap in this client's traffic mix. In the pie chart, it shows that 50% of the website's traffic comes from organic search, and there's hardly a presence of paid search. While no one, and I'm sure this store owner, isn't going to complain about having too much organic or free traffic, Google and the other search engines change their algorithm frequently. What if they derank the site? Potentially half of their traffic and likely revenue is gone. So that's why you always want to diversify your traffic makeup, especially through controllable channels like paid search or email marketing. You really want to see a diverse looking pie chart right here. Clicking down into all traffic in the left navigation, you can see the sources of traffic sorted high to low by visits. If you want to sort by a different metric like revenue, simply click that metric and the sorting will change. And now just a quick tip for revenue-obsessed store owners. The default setting for data is Summary, which provides an overview of the acquisition, behavior, and conversions. But if you want to look more in-depth at e-commerce metrics, simply click on the e-commerce tab and your data will shift, a little bit more revenue-focused. While the other areas in this section can give us a lot more information, and I really highly encourage you play around within all the tabs within acquisition, we wanted to move into some key takeaways and applications of this section so you can use this data to better your business. So, our first major application, to understand how to boost your website traffic and revenue, it's important to know historically what's been going on your website. So first, we'll look at if your site has seen any big traffic changes. For this section, you'll need historical data. Set your date ranges back as far as it can go, ideally, a few months or years, using that date range tool up in the top right. Then click on the filters area to choose a segment from the list. A bunch of the pre-created traffic segments or those traffic filters will pop up. And for this example, we'll go ahead and add in organic and paid segments. We want to see what types of spikes or slumps there are by channel. In your own analysis, please feel free to add in referral or direct traffic as well. Once you click organic and paid, a more intense looking graph will appear, and we'll now look through that for some takeaways. For this client, we can see that their overall traffic, indicated by the blue line, started to improve in 2013, but has now been on a decline. But why? It looks like the paid, which is in green, is actually picking up the past few months. The big issue is with their organic, the orange lines. While it took off in 2012, you can see two noticeable dips in their organic traffic, kind of around May 2013 and May 2014. So this next takeaway may be perfect for them to fix this decline. This is a question we have store owners come to us with all the time. They want to know if they've been hit by a Google change. To check this in analytics, stay in that all traffic area and keep your date range set back as far as you can. Then in the column source medium, look for the Google organic listing, and you're going to go ahead and click that. When you click on the blue Google organic listing, the chart will shift because you are now looking at just Google organic search traffic. Do you see any noticeable dips? For this client, we can see a pretty big hit around the end of May 2013 along with March 2014. If you see hits in your own graph, you can go ahead and see if they match up with the dates of Google's algorithm changes. If they do match up, it's likely you are affected by a hit, and what you'll want to do is act. There's a lot of resources out there about how to recover from a hit to regain your traffic. Another area to pay attention to with regard to your website traffic history is your site's seasonality. Your seasonality is the fluctuation of high visits and revenue related to a seasonal time of year. To tell your seasonality, keep that date range back as far as it will go, and review any slumps or spikes so you can understand what your seasonality is. A lot of merchants just assume their seasonality is Q4, and while holiday seasonality is common, especially for e-commerce and retail, this particular merchant has a summer spike in visits. You can tell because July 2012, 2013, and July 2014 all have really big inclines in sessions. And knowing your seasonality can really help you plan ahead during your non-seasonal or slower months. You can use those to prep inventory. Maybe you add new product line, rework product data on your website. Maybe you plan out marketing promotions, do a site redesign. Maybe you continue or ramp up an SEO campaign. You can also use the slow months to promote and encourage off-season purchases, so the slump doesn't seem as slow as it normally would be. Knowing your high traffic months also allows you to proactively increase ad spend for paid campaigns. While during the slow months it's unlikely you hit your max budget, you don't want to run out and lose clicks during those high traffic months when you're getting a lot of revenue. And then last, make sure to use coupons to increase conversion rate during the months where you're seeing more traffic. You might as well capitalize and try and see more revenue as well. And now we'll go ahead and dive in and see if we have any blind spots for our website. One of the common blind spots we realize store owners have is knowing their traffic mix. They don't always know which traffic sources drive revenue or when to invest in a channel further. In this screenshot, we have a client who has a successful women's clothing store. They said most of their revenue comes from direct traffic and Pinterest, which was kind of based off intuition and what they'd read online about clothing stores and Pinterest. When they joined us and we installed analytics, we learned a different story looking within all traffic. Polyvore, a more niche shopping network than Pinterest, was huge. We also identified two big blind spots. There's a low conversion rate site-wide. They really need to work to improve this through site design and the user experience. And then Google CPC, which is paid Google traffic like PPC ads or Google Shopping, has one of the highest conversion rates. They should increase their budget here to drive up traffic, to drive up revenue. Another blind spot we see when talking with store owners is that they think the only way to boost revenue is to boost traffic, and that is not true. All other things being equal, a smart way to boost revenue is to work to boost your average order value. The average order value is the average of a customer's total order value divided by the number of orders or transactions. This is a key metric to understand because you know the average your general customer will spend, and it can help you plan for new inventory and help you boost revenue. To see your average order value, click on the Ecommerce tab right above that blue graph, and your data will shift to show this metric. In this case, you can see this store owner's average order value is 66, which is just below 75, which is kind of a pretty standard level for getting promotions. So, to increase the average order value, which would then increase monthly revenue, assuming sessions and transactions are the same, this merchant could offer free shipping for orders over 75. They could offer a small gift. They might begin offering product bundles to really drive up that cart value. Or they might try a tiered percentage off, so giving rewards for purchases over 75, 10% off orders over $75, 15% off orders over $100. In this table below, you can see how these little tokens to raise average order value could pay off in exponentially growing additional monthly revenue. And now, moving into our final takeaway, we wanted to go over how to show up or know if it's possible for you to show up for an important keyword. This is another popular question we get from merchants. So first, within the acquisition left navigation, scroll down to keywords, expand that out, and click on organic. to check the organic keywords currently driving traffic to your website. Is the keyword you have in mind showing up in this keyword column or not? If not, it's very possible it's masked under that not provided. But unfortunately, it's also possible that you aren't getting traffic for that keyword yet organically.
Womp womp.
But not all is lost. If you hop on down to the Search Engine Optimization tab, just a few levels below keywords, click that, it'll expand out, and then click on Queries. You can review the column Average Position for how you're ranking for a corresponding query or keyword. If you're ranking anywhere from 8 to 20, you probably aren't getting much traffic currently because you're lower on the page. Most of us know most searchers are going to click on the first couple results they see. But you're really close if you're in positions 8 through 20. If you increase your optimization efforts around these within reach keywords, you might be able to drive up your average position and then start getting traffic. But all that said, if it is a really hyper-competitive keyword that you know you need to show up for, you can always do paid search or something like that and pay to rank for the keyword.
Okay, next we'll move down to the Behavior tab on the left-hand navigation. This is where you can learn where your customers spend their time and what causes their actions. But first, let's do a quick poll. Do you know what page your visitors spend most of their time on? Using analytics, you can identify this page and ensure you're providing your customers a way to move forward.
That's right. Maybe you have an add to cart button or some other signal to keep your customers always moving on the conversion path.
Okay, let's give it just a bit more time so everyone has a chance to vote.
Only about 60% of us. Oh, it's spiking rapidly. Oh, wow. There's only about 75% of us had voted. We'll give it another second or two. Sorry about that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close the poll. As a reminder, your screen might pause for a second, but then the PowerPoint will come right back up. So the poll was closed and just 33% of us knew on what page most of our visitors spent the most time.
Okay, well don't worry if you don't know because we'll cover that in this next section. Okay, so let's move on. Just like a brick and mortar store, owners pay close attention to which aisles are most popular and make changes if visitors can't intuitively find the right products that they're looking for in an aisle. A store owner should view site content and behavior just like watching their patrons walk through their store. The first section in site content is called All Pages. This is a great way to find the status of the pages within your website. You can find which ones are successful and other ones that need additional help. A great area to focus on is All Pages is the page views. It's an extremely important metric to determine page success. So let's learn how Google calculates page views. Every page a customer is active on is counted towards it. So in this example, a visitor may enter through your homepage. From there, they click into a category page to find a product that they're interested in. They click into that product, but decide to continue browsing and go back to that same category page as before. So they view your homepage once, the category page twice, and then the product page once. Another valuable piece of information in this section is the average time on page. This is how you find what page your visitors spend the most time on. If you have a page with a large average time but a high bounce rate, you can learn this page may be preventing visitors from going forward, or perhaps it's informational. If it's an informational page, there would be no reason to go forward and is actually fulfilling the page intention.
Like maybe an About Us page. So a high bounce rate on that page isn't a bad thing.
Exactly. Another way to utilize this section is by searching for a specific page term in the search bar. I recommend searching for shopping because it'll pull up all URL possibilities for your shopping cart. I make this recommendation because you want to check the bounce rate and exit rate of your shopping cart page. So if you have a high bounce rate or exit rate that's near or above your site averages, this may be an indication of a red flag. To be sure there are no problems, go through the checkout process and ask yourself, are my shipping prices calculating accurately? Make sure that your shipping prices are reasonable. You wouldn't want to pay a lot of money in shipping for a product that's less expensive.
Yeah, no one likes seeing that they have to pay $10 in shipping for, a $20, $30 pair of shoes.
Yeah, and also you can check out if there's any signals of distrust. Make sure your site is secure and nothing is broken, communicating that the site isn't trustworthy. Moving down the left-hand navigation, we're going to the landing page section. A landing page is the first impression for a potential customer of your website. It's the page the visitor enters each time they visit your site. Typically, the most common landing page is the home page. Looking at all pages can help you identify if you need to add a new category page, showcase a promotion, or build out inventory. Landing pages can help you identify areas for conversion opportunities since these pages are the catalyst for website discovery. Okay, so now that we've covered landing pages and all pages, what's the difference between them? They're pretty similar, so I just wanted to go over it just to make sure you understand. If a customer searches in a search engine, and then they click through to your website, and then from there, that customer clicks deep into the site, they will account for 2 all-page views and 1 landing page. In this example, the customer was active with 2 pages, but entered the site through only 1. Moving along down the Behavior tab, you'll see Site Search on your website. This allows you to see what phrases your visitors type into your search bar on your website. It's the one area you can identify a lot of gaps in your online store and learn a lot about your users. And if you don't have this enabled, don't worry. We'll actually detail this process out in a blog that's going to follow up on this webinar in a few weeks. So just keep a lookout for that, and then you can get started on it. But a few things, once you do have that enabled, that you can learn from this page. By simply adding site search bar on your website, it generally helps build a higher conversion rate because it allows customers to immediately search for something if they can't find it upon entering. So if they don't see it right away, they can just search for it and find it. Also, you can search for popular terms on your website. Do your products come up? If not, look into why. You may have settings disabled that prevent your products from not showing, missing a huge opportunity to convert these users. Also, when checking on the search terms and analytics, take note. Do any products you don't offer come up? You already know that someone using site search is probably more likely to convert, so it's something your target audience wants. If possible, invest into that inventory. And last, we recommend looking at any commonalities among searches. If your customers are regularly searching for a keyword, it could be an opportunity to add a call to action button on the homepage to allow them to find it easier.
Or if you see a product is really commonly searched in your site search terms, maybe you use that to drive your deal of the day, or you pick that product as one of your featured products on the homepage, eliminating one step of them having to search for it.
Exactly. Okay, so let's jump down to the site speed section and select page timing option. This is a great way to identify if you're having loading problems, which can hurt your conversion rate.
And Google says that page load could even affect your organic ranking.
Yeah. Slow load times can be caused by many things. A few examples, unoptimized pages. Full-size and high-quality images are great, but they may slow your page down. So just with a little tweaking, you can reduce the size while maintaining clarity. Custom Flash. Flash is a fancy animated software, but it can be really big and bulky. Something to keep in mind is that it's not compatible with mobile, so if you have Flash, this may be something you want to reevaluate, especially if it's slowing your site down. And also external embedded media. This can be videos or slideshows from external sources like websites. There also may be other reasons you're experiencing slow loading on a page, but these are some great tips to troubleshoot first. So what are some key takeaways we can glean from this section of analytics? First, let's find how to identify lucrative landing pages. All pages is one of the first things that you can check to see if you need to rethink swapping out any of your categories for more lucrative landing pages or adding in a promotional banner or call out for an especially top performing category. For this retailer, we can see how vastly important it would be for them to ensure their men and women ring category is in an attention-grabbing spot or even a promotional slide. It's the top 10 most page views within the site, but only has a bounce rate of 27%. So a calculation I like to remember is high page views plus a low bounce rate is a good landing page. All right, next. Identify how to increase popular links and promotions visibility. You can identify new product opportunities or issues by analyzing your search terms. If there is a specific product searched on your website that is relevant to your industry but isn't currently in your product line, you should consider adding it.
Yeah, maybe you see a bunch of searches for XXL show up on your on-site search terms, but you only sell up to extra large. You might take that as a sign of demand, so you add XXL to your sizing options. That gives you more chances to sell and more revenue.
Yeah. And you can also find current products or categories to showcase on your homepage or in the primary navigation that are regularly being searched on your website that aren't easily accessible from the homepage or navigation. Also, there's some things that you can troubleshoot with this information from this page. If you search on your site and a product doesn't show up, but you do sell it, there may be a problem. Like I mentioned before, there may be some settings disabled, so you may want to look into that to make sure people can find your products. And then also, if people are searching for a product on your site, but it's outside of your industry or niche, there may be a problem. You may be representing your website in a wrong way to a search engine, so you may want to take a look at that and see what people are doing. And last, how to identify lucrative landing pages. Let's move down to the last section in the Behavior tab. This is called In-Page Analytics, and it shows you where people are clicking the most on a page. By using In-Page Analytics, you can see visually what the most popular click links are on your site. It's one area that store owners really enjoy and provides quickly consumable data about how users interface with your store. In this example, the button on the far right, Ecommerce Solutions, has the lowest clicks for this prime real estate. But by identifying this, you can change that button out to something else and bring more clicks to another page. Next, we're going to move down the left-hand navigation to the Conversions tab. This is where you can learn where and when your consumers convert on your website. Okay, so in the Conversion tab, let's go down to E-commerce and Product Performance. This information is also in the Volusion dashboard, but in addition to knowing what products were purchased, analytics does have a few advantages. It shows itemized products, including incentives, so you can see how well different coupons or promotions are doing. And it also allows you to see which channel drove the sale of the product. So in this example, you can see the promotion, free ground shipping, has a quantity of 801, which is about 10% of sales in the past 14 days. That promotion seems to be doing a really great job, and we can track its progress all in this area of analytics. Okay, so let's jump down to the multi-channel funnels overview section. This can seem daunting at first, but it provides an invaluable business insights to multiple paths that people take to conversion. We'll go through knowing how long it takes for your average customer to purchase, how they get there, through what channels, all in this section. A channel can play 3 roles in the conversion path. First interaction is the first referral on the conversion path. Assist interaction is any referral that is on the conversion path. And last interaction is the referral that immediately precedes the conversion. So what does that mean? In a nutshell, the first interaction is how they found the site. Assist interaction is another channel that helps in the conversion path. And then last interaction is what actually converted the customer. One of my favorite metrics in this section is the top conversion pass. Most visitors don't make their final purchase on their first visit to your site, so you'll want to dig to see what pass they're taking before their final purchase. This helps you spot channels of opportunity that you might not otherwise see because the e-commerce tab in acquisition only attributes revenue to the last non-direct channel before a purchase.
And also just helps you see visually that not every purchase is one path. It proves that people take multiple paths to purchase.
And then last, we'll visit the time lag section. This is important because you'll also want to check out the journey of your purchasers. Look at time lag. You can tell how important it is for all points of the purchase path to bring someone back to conversion. And you know that the e-commerce data from acquisition doesn't tell the whole story. So let's go over a few takeaways from the Conversion tab. First, which channels are best for lead generation? A great way to discover your lead generation is by going to the Assisted Conversion section and clicking over to the First Interaction Analysis. This view will show you the number of first-click conversions broken out by your marketing channels. In this example, organic search, or SEO, was the first click for 2,545 conversions, which eventually brought in over $141,000 in revenue. Understanding this is very important because it will help bring customers to your site and help establish your brand. Every marketing effort doesn't have to be 100% revenue generation. By boosting a channel that has a high first-click conversion number, you will increase exposure to your site and support other channels, allowing them to close the sale. Next, which channels don't really contribute to revenue but are always present in a conversion path? In this example, paid search is 8 out of 10 in the conversion path. If a store owner were thinking about pausing this channel, they could harm other channels as well by taking away 8 out of 10 of the conversions using paid search in that path. Okay, which channels close the sale? In analytics, conversions are typically attributed to the last channel someone uses to enter your site to complete their transaction. This can be found in the Assisted Conversion section by clicking over to Conversion. By analyzing this data, you can find what channels are best to close the sale. In this example, direct traffic is the highest channel. By using this information and researching first-click conversions, you can see if a customer has either found your site through another channel first, and then came back by typing in your URL directly, or maybe there's great brand recognition around this company. By using assisted first interaction and conversions, you can build a marketing plan to cultivate a cohesive marketing strategy. And then last, how to make decisions based on your average purchaser. Are your customers quick to buy, or do they take their time? By looking into this data, you can find when the average customer is most likely to convert. This is also great information if you're running a remarketing or an email marketing program. For example, you may learn that your second highest conversion time is 12 days after entering the site. In that case, you would want to run your remarketing campaign to provide a promotion 12 days out to increase your chances of conversions.
On the other hand, if you see an overwhelmingly percent by the first or second day, you may look into on-site tools to close the deal. It would be especially important to have, coupon codes added on-site so they're readily visible.
Absolutely.
All right, as we come to an end, here's a recap of all the takeaways we've learned that will help boost your conversion rate or help you better understand your website traffic. Like I said, these slides will be available to you tomorrow so you can review it again then, as well as on our blog.
And we know this is a really long list, so if you're just starting out with analytics and you don't know where to begin, if we had to pick our top 3, we'd prioritize them. Have you seen a big traffic changes? And how to identify lucrative landing pages? And probably which channels are the best for lead generation?
And now we just wanted to do a few tests to see, we've gone over analytics and we want to see if you can apply the data and show that you can be your very own consultant and troubleshoot yourself. So in this example, revenue, average order value, and per session value are down, but sessions, transactions, and conversion rate are up. So what do you suspect the issue is behind why revenue is down? And you guys can chat in your responses. Let us know what you think. I'll give you guys a few minutes. If you guys B, you're correct. In this example, the store owner has an increase in sessions and transactions, meaning more people are coming to the site and purchasing. Revenue is down because customers are purchasing at a lower order value. So what they need to do is boost their average order value to boost revenue. Give promotions like free shipping or some of the others we talked about earlier to drive orders at a higher price. A would be incorrect because we can see there's an increase of 4% in conversion rate. So that means people are actually buying more frequently. And if you guys see, that's incorrect because we can see there's an increase of 8% in visitors, so there's more visitors on the site.
Okay, so let's do another one. In this example, sessions and new users are down. However, bounce rate, page sessions, average duration, transactions, revenue, and conversion rate are all up. So why is there more revenue when comparing year-over-year data? A, people are buying more frequently. B, people are visiting the website. Or C, people are spending more time to each purchase. So just take a second and pick your answer. Okay, you ready? If you guessed A, then you're correct. Even though they have less sessions and new users, their transactions and conversion rate have gone up. This means that fewer people are coming to their site, but yet they're making multiple transactions when they get there. If you guessed B, that's incorrect because we know that sessions are down and new users are down. This store owner should look at all channels of marketing to see if one has decreased so they can focus their efforts to bring it up and drive even more sales. And then if you guess C, that's incorrect. Even though in this view we cannot see the average order value, we can tell that customers are spending less per purchase because transactions are up by 122% and revenue is up by only 98%. Now, while the increase is great, it's an indication that customers are purchasing more transactions but not at a significantly higher value to be the main driver of increased revenue year over year.
And now a test to apply analytics to make decisions on your website. In the left, look at the site search terms for this website. These are terms people typed into their search bar, and this is, of course, just an example, and then review the home page. When comparing the two, the search terms on the left and the home page, chat in, let us know 3 website recommendations, or just one, that this store owner could make to boost conversion. And we'll go ahead and read through some of them. I've seen a lot of you guys chatting in about adding kids, and that's a really great recommendation. That was the first thing that came to my mind. If ASOS does sell kids products, they should absolutely add kids to, I would think right next to the women, men, and then just put kids right there. So that way it's really easily accessible to click on.
And Tori, one of the ones I saw come through that I think is a really great idea, someone said to add banner promotions to that homepage. So, maybe like tank tops or a highlight, a t-shirt, because those are popular terms. So it's not just summer sale on the homepage.
Yeah, that's a good idea because you get the products right in front of people's eyes.
Yeah.
And then another good one, I just thought this was kind of a unique suggestion that I definitely agree with. Someone wrote they should add sizing chart so it's easily accessible from the home page. And I think that's a really, really great tip. Maybe it could go up there by help since that's kind of an informational area. Having the sizing chart would really help instill trust in your visitors, so maybe they would be more likely to convert and feel like they can really trust you. So we really appreciate all these tips, and we have one more test for you guys.
Okay, so a final test you can use to analyze where you need to adjust if you are seeing changes in marketing channels. So look at this screenshot. What happened to their traffic mix that caused a total site search or all sessions to fluctuate from 20K to almost 40K? Looking at this, organic did take a dive in December, but it has picked up pretty steadily since then. And then also looking at it, referrals actually took a dive in April, but it hasn't picked up.
I think this is a really great lesson, just showing the importance of looking at your data with the segments in mind. This client may have just thought, compared with November 2013, all sessions are up. This is great. And they might not realize that referrals are down. That could affect them in the long run. The referrals being down could mean, they're losing social media traction, they're losing links, something like that. And then, on the other hand, they might not realize, wow, organic is up so much, which should, provide them inspiration to invest further in their SEO strategy. So that's why we really recommend looking at all the different segments and understanding it with the whole view in mind.
Now, if you'll give us a few moments, we'll head into the Q&A and finally wrap up with reviewing some of our discounts.
So we're going to go ahead and pause for a second and look through the questions. They've been coming in all along. And then I just ask if you could stick around. We do have a survey post-webinar, and we really, really appreciate your feedback. Thanks for all the questions, and just a quick disclaimer, we're not going to be able to get to all of them. There were a lot, which is great. We definitely know we'll probably have to have a follow-up, maybe a more advanced analytics webinar in the future. So we will address lingering questions later. One of the first ones Natalie can answer. Someone asked, what is the not provided that shows up in the keywords area?
Oh, that's a great question. Okay, so when SSL search is enabled and someone clicks into your website from a search result in analytics, you'll see not provided when looking at organic keywords. This is just a privacy move on Google's behalf and essentially means that anyone logged into their Google account will have their organic keywords protected as not provided in analytics.
And then a similar question, someone asked, why do paid keywords say not set? So if you're seeing not set in the paid section of your keywords, first, we're glad that you're looking around in analytics, but it's because you don't have AdWords linked up with analytics, so the data isn't syncing fully. If you go into your admin tab, there's a section called AdWords linking, and so you'll want to enable that within analytics, and it will start pulling your AdWords data.
Okay, another one I see is, how come you skip some sections in the left navigation? Okay, that's great. Our goal today was to do an introductory lesson into Google Analytics and applying some data, to your website so you can glean from that information. We plan to offer some more advanced analytics webinars and that will go a little bit more in depth into some other sections and dive deeper into the data. But for today, we just wanted to give you some really great meaty content to take away.
Definitely. And then a last one, this one, unfortunate, someone said, when I hit compare to, it's saying I have 1,000% growth year over year, but I know that isn't true. So analytics isn't perfect, so it could be, without knowing the exact situation, it's hard to diagnose, but it's possible that if you had analytics tracking sessions and that data a year ago, you might have not had e-commerce tracking enabled. So while analytics was tracking your sessions, it wasn't tracking your conversions. And so you must have e-commerce tracking now, so it's showing anything that you're making now is a 100% improvement over last year.
Okay, so we're about to run out of time, but I think I can select one more. Okay, this is a great one. When I go into analytics, I'm receiving an error for the in-page analytics section. That's awesome that you're already exploring what we've covered. That's great news. Don't be alarmed because it's actually really common. If you want to select, whenever you hit that page, a little orange pop-up will show, and you just want to select the Load in Full View button, and then you'll get a visual representation of that data. So it'll pull up your home page and allow you to view popular clicked links and kind of dive into it like that.
And now we just wanted to review, for those of you Volusion merchants who tuned in with us, we have some discounts on marketing services. And these are good throughout the month of July. With SEO, if you commit to 5 months of SEO services, we'll give you the 6-month free. It's a great option because it promotes, continuing an SEO strategy for a long time, which is ideal. Another promotion is if you buy 3 months of SEO up front, then we'll waive the setup fee. And then a second promotion is, for those of you who tuned in and you don't have analytics already, why not get started right now? We do offer analytics and AdWords setup services. And the details on the discounts with that, if you call in, we'll let you know, but it's up to $200 off for setups. Thanks so much for spending your lunch or just an hour of the day with us. We hope this helped you better your business and make actionable changes to your marketing or on-site strategy. We really value your feedback, so please participate in the survey that pops up after this so we can learn what you want to learn about in the future. We do use that to derive our educational materials, so we do want to know what you want to know. Thanks.
Thank you.